The the analysis by paralysis. I see that so much where people literally have to wait until it's like 110% of what they think it should be before they head out the door. Any suggestions there for people?
Well, first thing is, I would hate to see that they were at 10% before they headed out the door. If they're building their product before they're talking to the market, they're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But then again, talking to the market can be the same analysis paralysis of ready, aim, 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 and you never fire.
Yeah.
The goal is, there's a great professor at the University of Virginia that coined this term effectual reasoning, which means ready, fire, aim. And in fact, I mentioned that in the book, and just recently got an email from a Tuck student of mine from a few years ago who died laughing when he read that. And he sent me actually an excerpt from the Marine manual on artillery firing, and said basically they have this long section about how you do all your calculations and everything. So the Marines take a shot, see where it lands, back up, take another shot, then shoot in between, and that always works. And that's kind of what you should do in the marketplace.
Excellent. It kind of also brings a point. I've seen this numerous times too, and I'm sure you have as well, where someone sets out to do one thing, and these are the people that create something, not realizing they actually have something completely different. And there's got to be a skill set there to see that need, which is very much in the vein of what you're talking about, right? Is I've gone to the market, identified this, I'm going after it, but it doesn't work. But all of a sudden, I've got people gravitating towards this in a different way, looking at different things, like Twitter. Wasn't that an example where it started out as a news feed,
news syndication
type process, and next thing you know, a whole bunch of people have jumped on it and they're talking back and forth, right? So
absolutely.
What do you? Go ahead.
There are hardly any successful deals that you can look at out there that ended up the way they started.
Absolutely.
Almost always there's this, iteration process in this. Like now the new jargon is pivot. Everybody's talking about pivot. Their heart's in the right place. You, as you say, you want to be paying attention to what the environment's telling you, because the environment's smarter than you are.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting, because that actually leads to a question I had. Everyone always talks about most good entrepreneurs fail a few times. And now, of course, that prevents a lot of people from even getting into their own entrepreneurial endeavors, because they're, of course, if everyone's sort of inherently afraid to mess up. But what's your thought regarding that and mitigating that the downside of that scenario, or if it's even true?
Well, first of all, it's a truism in business that you learn a hell of a lot more from your mistakes than you do from your successes.
Mm-hmm.
When you're successful, could be a lot of reasons why you're successful and you're never sure, including dumb luck. Mm-hmm. But if you make a mistake, if you take a look at it carefully enough, you'll figure out why, and then you've learned something, and you will never forget it. A good entrepreneurial approach is to never be afraid to jump in and do the ready, fire, aim. Be willing to make mistakes, back up. The goal is to make little mistakes, make intelligent mistakes as soon as possible, and never take a risk you're not prepared to lose, meaning you can't risk it all. In the end, lessons learned is probably one of the most powerful teachers.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I'm sure you've gotten that way. I've gotten that way. It's it's like, oops, I made a mistake. As long as you're smart enough to realize that you've made a mistake, right? And don't let ego override that thing at all.
Well, so. and I guess I light lots of little fires everywhere to try things out, but that's my style. I guess
I bring the gas and just pour it all over it. So that's why we work so well together, I think.